Good evening to you all, and thank you very much for joining us on Rwanda Television News tonight. We do hope you had yourselves a productive Wednesday. Now here's a sneak peek of our edition tonight. First Lady Janet Kagame has called on participants at the Paul Ifoma Butaro dialogue to ensure that their discussions translate into practical solutions that address the remaining gaps in maternal and child health care. Although residents in many parts of the country continue to report that electricity supply is insufficient and prone to frequent outages, members of the Senate Committee on Economic Development and Finance say the country's plans to expand electricity generation and improve access are on the right track to achieving Rwanda's energy targets. And on the international scene, Cape Verde's historic 2026 FIFA World Cup campaign is already boosting the economy, with tourism businesses reporting more visitors as the island nation gains international attention. We're glad to have your company tonight, straight from Kigali, Rwanda. My name is Enora Gladys. Now straight to the news in details. First Lady Janet Kagame has called on participants at the Paul Ifoma Farmer Butaro dialogue to ensure that their discussions translate into practical solutions that address the remaining gaps in maternal and child health care. She reiterated this on Wednesday during the Paul Ifoma Butaro dialogue held in Burera district. Adams Kwizera kicks off tonight.
The dialogue took place at the University of Global Health and Equity in Butaro, Burera district. The Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Phil Cotton, said that Africa's greatest challenge is not the lack of experts or research capable of generating solutions, but rather ensuring that those solutions reach everyone, particularly women and children who need them most.
And important. Across Africa, we face an unacceptable and unbearable burden of preventable maternal and newborn deaths. At the same time, we are witnessing remarkable advances in science, technology, digital health, artificial intelligence, diagnostics, and clinical care. These innovations offer enormous promise, but their true value depends on whether they become accessible to the women, children, and families who need them most.
During the dialogue, Rex Wong emphasized the need to strengthen education systems while fostering innovation that delivers Africa-led solutions. He added that this should go hand in hand with the adoption of artificial intelligence in healthcare.
How we can educate the next generation of innovators. And at the same time, we have to talk about how we can incorporate innovation into the education system. So these are the two key fundamental questions that we have to answer. Now first, how we can train African innovators to solve the African health issue with an African-led innovation. Now from the education perspective, a structured way to turn good ideas into actual viable solution to improve life is essential.
The dialogue comes at a time when global statistics show that approximately 287,000 women die each year from preventable pregnancy and childbirth-related causes. The founder of the Gates Foundation, Bill Gates, commended the government of Rwanda for the significant progress it has made in reducing maternal and child mortality, as well as for building a healthcare system that increasingly leverages artificial intelligence and digital technology.
Intelligence Center, where I saw how Rwanda is leveraging digital systems to really understand the quality of the work it's doing. Those digital systems will be the foundation for the next generation, which will be powered by artificial intelligence. In fact, Rwanda is in the forefront, working with the Gates Foundation and AI providers to see how it can benefit the health system.
First Lady Janet Kagame said that the good health begins with people and must be supported by quality education, particularly in the health sector, to ensure sustainable improvements in healthcare delivery.
I begin by applauding the community health workers and students here today. Together, you provided the innovative solutions we celebrate today. Innovations only matter because you carry them into homes, villages, and health centers.
First Lady Janet Kagame also emphasized that investing in maternal health creates stronger families, gives children a better start in life, and helps a nation to thrive.
When a woman dies while giving life, it's a dark reminder that somewhere a health system failed to deliver what is already possible. This is a flaw in focus. This is a moral failure. But it's a moral failure we can correct. The political neglect, the economic misalignment, the structural delays, all of them can be undone through place-based education, intimacy, and scale, and intergenerational action. It is high time we conquer it. Let us move from evidence to implementation, from innovation to equitable delivery, from discussion to measurable action, because every preventable maternal death is one too many.
The Paul Ifama Butaro Dialogue brought together more than 400 participants, including government officials, academicians, representatives of university and higher learning institutions, development partners, healthcare professionals, civil society organizations, students, and young innovators. Adam Squizera, reporting for RTV News, in Butaro, Burera District.
Now moving on with more news ahead, although residents in many parts of the country continue to report that electricity supply is insufficient and prone to frequent outages, members of the Senate Committee on Economic Development and Finance say the country's plans to expand electricity generation and improve access are on the right track to achieving Rwanda's energy targets. We do have the details. As part of its oversight role on the government's efforts to expand electricity access, the Senate Committee on Economic Development and Finance split into two teams. One team visited the Muvumba multipurpose project in Nyagatare district, a large integrated development project that includes a hydropower component, while the other toured the Nharuka hydropower plant in Burera district. The Muvumba multipurpose project brings together several development initiatives. It includes the construction of a dam with a reservoir capable of storing 55 million cubic meters of water. The reservoir will support a hydropower plant, a drinking water treatment facility, irrigation schemes, and other community development projects. According to the project's deputy coordinator, the first phase is expected to begin generating 1 megawatt of electricity by the end of 2027. At the Nharuka hydropower plant in Burera district, however, the main challenge remains the aging equipment, much of which requires replacement to improve efficiency and reliability. The chairperson of the Senate Committee on Economic Development and Finance, Fulgence Nsengiyumva, said the progress made on the Muvumba multipurpose project gives confidence that it will achieve its intended objectives once completed. The Muvumba multipurpose project commenced construction in September 2023 and has now reached 61.5% completion. Meanwhile, the Nharuka hydropower plant was constructed in 1957 and began generating electricity in 1959. It currently has an installed generation capacity of 11.25 megawatts. As she concludes her 4-year diplomatic mission in Rwanda, the European Union ambassador says relations between Rwanda and the EU have entered a new phase, shifting from traditional development assistance to a partnership driven by investment, trade, and sustainable development. She says continuous dialogue between both sides has strengthened cooperation across a wide range of sectors while helping Rwanda and the European Union work together on regional and international challenges.
I have to say that it has been 4 memorable years of continued dialogue, continued engagement with government, with civil society, with you. I appreciate that the partnership between the European Union and Rwanda has been marked by this continued dialogue that allow us to engage at all points on the situation at multilateral level, where we share with Rwanda a high level of ambition. We've been engaging on the situation in the continent, also Rwanda's engagements in northern Mozambique, in CAD, but also what you are doing in providing solutions to challenges in the continent, to pushing the agenda of the continent on deeper regional integration, and where we've been discussing a lot about our partnership, which is a partnership where we all build value. It's not a partnership of dependencies, it's a partnership of value, creating joint interest for all parties. And I think this has been very great satisfaction in our Global Gateway commitments in Rwanda. The Global Gateway delivers in Rwanda, provides an example of what we can do together. I think the work we've done in pharmaceuticals has been impressive, building from 2021 in the middle of COVID with no vaccines in Europe to a situation where today Rwanda has built an ecosystem to manufacture vaccines for Rwanda and for the continent. This has been very impressive. But we've been working also together on climate smart agriculture, working on a key sector of the economy of the country, and also connecting to the challenges of climate change to make this sector continue delivering for the people. 70% of the country is still employed today in agriculture. We've been keen to make the most and build the competitiveness of the sector. And we'll be very keen to work on pre-primary education, a key ingredient in a knowledge-based economy, working from the early stages of childhood to skill the population for this knowledge-based transition towards a middle-income country. Very keen in the work we've done on refugees, the work we've done in youth. With youth, we created a youth sounding board, so now we have the youth also being part of our decision making and our policy making, but also job creation, youth entrepreneurship, contributing to the country's amazing youth entrepreneurship ecosystem. So we've been working on Aguka, on hunger hubs, creating opportunities for youth in the secondary cities, and all this has been very impressive. The work we've done on justice and accountability and building the voice of the citizens, I'm also very happy with the work we've been doing in that space, and I'm sure my successor will bring it forward in the future. So yes, it's a sad moment. I have to say I'm still in denial. I don't feel I'm going anywhere, but I feel privileged and honored for having served in this country, for having been part of the journey of transformation, for having had the channels of communication open at all moments to address some of the challenging contexts in the region, and to be able to discuss on also difficult matters that they were very present, that tested a partnership of the last years, but to be able to understand at all points what the concerns are in the country, what our concerns are, and to be able to contribute to peaceful, sustainable solutions in the region. So the EU is a partner of Rwanda. We hope to be a reliable partner in the long term, building a know-how regional integration as a potential for peace in the region, in the continent.
The U.S. government has nominated Nicholas Checker as its proposed ambassador to Rwanda, with the nomination now awaiting confirmation by the U.S. Senate. The nomination was sent to the Senate on Tuesday by President Donald Trump. In the U.S., ambassadorial nominees are referred to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, which reviews their qualifications and votes on whether to advance the nomination to the full Senate. If confirmed by a majority of senators, the president formally appoints the ambassador. Checker currently serves as the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Southern Africa and Foreign Assistance at the U.S. Department of the State. He previously led the Bureau of African Affairs as Senior Bureau Official. Now moving on with more news ahead, investors in the hospitality sector affirm their commitment on promoting the quality of service delivery in Rwanda. This is as the Kigali city has joined the Best Cities Global Alliance as its 14th member. Prince Manzi kicks off tonight.
July 14th, 2026, the Kigali city was officially announced as the 14th member of the Best Cities Global Alliance. Investors in the hospitality sector say that it is another opportunity to beautify service delivery to meet the international standard.
This has a lot of benefits because it will attract more visitors, investors, and global events, and it will increase demand for hotels and conference facilities. I would also say that it will create more jobs and business opportunities. Now, having said by that, we are committed, and we should be committed to maintaining the international service standard and contribute to Kigali reputations as trusted business events destination.
The Director General of the Rwanda Chamber of Tourism, Jackson Hakiza, reiterates that personnel in the hospitality and tourism industry are expected to keep pace with Rwanda's progress in welcoming visitors.
This goes with MICE, meetings, conference, event and exhibition tourism, intending to attract more conferences into Kigali. And the advantages we see that is the more on increasing numbers of arrivals or delegates coming, attending it to different events happening in Kigali. The benefit we see is that being a part of the Best City Alliance, a global alliance, gives us chances to tap into opportunities in those cities. Like, for example, where some events have happened in those cities, Rwanda will be having first-time information, even when it comes to target and attract those events. As a country, we will see increment in terms of arrivals, delegates coming to Rwanda, benefiting our businesses, hotels, and the other tourism attractions.
The City of Kigali administration assured that the country will continue to provide all the necessary infrastructures to ease the performance of the hospitality sector. In 2025, Rwanda hosted more than 25 international association meetings and 165 regional, continental, and global events. The country generated $94.7 million in revenue from meetings, conferences, exhibitions, and related events, up from $84.8 million in 2024, representing an 11% increase. Best Cities Global Alliance is a 26-year-old global network established through the partnership of the cities of Melbourne in Australia and Vancouver in Canada, as well as San Francisco in the United States of America. The alliance aims to bring together leading destinations to deliver world-class services for hosting international meetings, conventions, and business events. Prince Manzi, AllTV News.
Young people participating in the 16th Indangamirwa Civic Education Program, normally known as Itorero Indangamirwa, have said that understanding Rwanda's history, particularly the history of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, gives them the responsibility to preserve the history, combat genocide denial and minimization, and contribute to building a nation founded on unity, peace, and sustainable development. They made these remarks during a visit to Kiziguro Genocide Memorial located in Gatsibo district. We don't have the details. The Kiziguro Genocide Memorial is the resting place of more than 23,000 victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Most of them were killed in what was formerly Murambi commune. During their visit, participants in the 16th Indangamirwa Civic Education Program paid tribute to the victims laid to rest at the memorial and received lessons on the history of the genocide against the Tutsi, as well as Rwanda's journey of recovery and reconstruction. The brutality of the genocide against the Tutsi in the former Murambi commune was fueled by local authorities of the time, including the then mayor of Murambi commune, Jean-Baptiste Gatete. Within just 1 week, more than 20,000 Tutsi were murdered in the area. Deeply moved by these historical accounts, the young participants pledged to confront genocide denial and distortion while continuing to serve as ambassadors of national unity and resilience.
First of all, I thank the government for this program, and today I learned that not only the genocide was stopped by the youth, it was also organized by the youth as well. So I'm one of the post-genocide generation, and I think what I learned today as a post-genocide generation is that to sustain what's already been here, and also to go home with the homework, would be like, oh, okay, if Inkotanyi did this, what's my contribution? I'm not gonna take a gun to fight. We already have peace, but what I can do with the spirit of Inkotanyi is to be excellent in what I do, is to be Inkotanyi in what I do, in everything, and also to promote unity and resilience in my community as well.
I learned a lot about what happened in Kiziguro, especially how the survivors, what they faced, how it went, how it was organized in this area, what the government did for this to happen, the way they had to fight their way through to survive, and what happened afterwards, how they had to rebuild their country from the scraps they were left with.
The permanent secretary at the Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Eric Mahoro, reminded the youth that they represent Rwanda's future. He encouraged them to make the most of the opportunities provided through the program to develop themselves and become role models in safeguarding the unity of Rwandans and preventing anything that could threaten national cohesion.
Aha rero tuba dushaka ko ayo mateka atuviramo isomo.
What we want is for these historical events to serve as a lesson that inspire us to make the right choices. This is especially important for the youth who were born after the genocide, so that they continue to appreciate the value of unity as one of the key choices made by the Government of National Unity, which has enabled Rwanda to rebuild and progress to where it is today. Rwanda's future will be bright only if this generation continues to understand this history and remains committed to choosing unity at all times. More than 700 young people are taking part in the 16th Indangamirwa Civic Education Program, which has been underway at the Gabiro Combat Training Center in Gatsibo District since 1st July 2026. The participants include Rwandan youth living or studying abroad, students from international schools, outstanding graduates of the Inkomezabigwi National Service Program Urugerero, and students from higher learning institutions and universities across the country. Rwanda has received more than 529 Rwandan returnees who have come back from the forests of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Of them, 108 were received at the Rusizi 1 border post in Rusizi district, while the other 421 crossed through the La Corniche border post in Ruavu district. The majority of the returnees are women and children. They said their return had been delayed because they were held hostage by the FDLR terrorist group and had been misled by false information about Rwanda. They expressed their happiness at returning to their homeland, which continues to make rapid development progress while maintaining security. Now that wraps up today's English News Bulletin. On behalf of the whole entire team, thank you so much for watching. My name is Enora Gladys. Have a good night and stay safe to stay with Rwanda Television.